Best practices for creating the employee handbook to employees. Communicating the employee handbook to employee is an essential part of any company's human resources management. A well-written handbook provides employees with clear guidelines on what is expected of them and what benefits and resources are available to them. However, simply having an employee handbook is not enough. It's also important to communicate the content of the handbook effectively to ensure that employees understand the policies and procedures outlined within it. And communicating. Here are some best practices for communicating the employee's handbook to employees. 1. Make the handbook easily accessible. The employee handbook should be easily accessible to all employees, whether it is in print or digital format. Ensure that it's easily accessible on your company's intranet, shared device, or company website. Also make sure that new employees receive a copy of the handbook as part of their onboarding process. 2. Explain the importance of the handbook. Before handing out the handbook to employees, explain why it's important to read and understand the content. Emphasize that the handbook is not just a collection of rules and policies, but a valuable resources that can help them navigate their employment relationship with the company. Number 3. Provide training and orientation. Provide training and orientation sections for employees to ensure they understand the content of the handbook. These sessions can be delivered in person through webinars or through online training modules. During the sessions, encourage employees to ask questions and clarify any doubts they may have about the content. Number 4. Use clear and concise language. Use clear and concise language when writing the employee handbook. Avoid technical jargon or legalese, which can be confusing and hard to understand. Use simple language and provide real-life examples to illustrate the policies and procedures. Number 5. Reinforce the content. Reinforce the content of the handbook through various channels such as posters, billboards, or internal newspapers. Use these channels to highlight specific policies or procedures that may be relevant to the employees at their particular time. Number 6. Update the handbook regularly. The employee handbook should be updated regularly to reflect any changes in policies and procedures. Communicate these changes to employees as soon as possible to ensure that they are aware of any changes that may impact their employment. Number 7. Encourage feedbacks. Encourage employees to provide feedbacks on the employee handbook. This feedback can be used to improve the content and ensure that it remains relevant to the need of the workforce. In conclusion, communicating the employee's handbook effectively is essential to ensure that employees understand the policies and procedures outlined within it. By making the handbook easily accessible, providing training and orientation, using clear and concise language, reinforcing the content, updating the handbook regularly, and encouraging feedbacks, companies can ensure that their employees are fully informed and compliant with the company's policies and procedures. Thank you. See you in the next class.